talks are still ongoing with Ben Johnson and Divine Mabama over new contracts at the club. We've had an update from ex-WHU employee, and I'm going to be honest, I'm not overly thrilled about the update. I don't think it sounds really that good. Before we get into the video, though, I just want to let you know that we're giving away a West Ham top. We're going to be giving away doing a competition this weekend. But to be a part of this and have a chance of winning, you need to be a subscriber. So all you need to do is click subscribe, free to do so, and you join us on the channel. Do you know what I mean? And you get the updates, and we continue trying to build new content, and this channel is really growing. So be a part of it. Why not? And as I say, we really do like to try and give something back. So we're giving away a West Ham top, any size, home, away, third, whatever you want. And it's free to do so to enter. So why not? So all you need to do is be a subscriber. So click on that button and also the like button, because it does help the channel out as well. Let's talk about Ben Johnson, the situation. So ex-WHU employee has now provided an update. And as I say, I'm not thrilled about it. It's the same old. And I'll tell you why I'm not thrilled about it is not because there's not been any progress, because I think that was kind of obvious anyway. We would have heard had there been more progress. And I'd like to think there will be. I really am sort of hoping that the club can sort something out. What's winding me up is that it's down to David Sullivan. That's the bit that's really starting to irk me again. It just feels like we can never get rid of David Sullivan. I'm not saying get rid of him as an owner, as much as I think the club needs new ownership, and we would relish, someone coming in with a bit of money and to take the club forward would be amazing. But look, that seems to be something that's in the long distance future, doesn't it? At the moment, it doesn't feel like it's around the corner at all. But what winds me up is David Sullivan's still got so much input and sway in everything, and I just don't know why he's getting so involved. I really don't. Like, surely to God, like you got the likes of Steidton there, just give him the budgets and say that this is your parameters. If Steidton goes, look, we can't afford to keep him, then I'd listen to that more. I just don't like the way David Sullivan doesn't like the idea of paying Ben Johnson a bigger wage, because that's what we're being told. So David Sullivan's basically saying that both Mabama and Johnson are asking for too much money. Now, I'm not going to start talking about numbers, right? One, I don't really know enough. Do you know what I mean? To start saying, well, he's asked for it. I'm not in the bloody room. I don't know. And I'd also think it's, you don't want to talk about exactly things like that, exactly the figures we're talking. But I do know for a fact that Ben Johnson isn't asking for stupid money, all right? He's not asking for 150 grand a week. If he's asking for 150 grand a week, he's got a good point. You go, yeah, look, he's asking for too much. We can't afford this. I get it. He's not. He's not asking for that. He's asking for just a Premier League wage. He's a Premier League player, and he's been so bloody useful for us this season. He's been fantastic. He can play at right back, left back, midfield. He can play at centre back. You know what I mean? Why wouldn't you? He's a hybrid player. This is the player we need in the squad, especially with a squad that has like as thin as we've got, and yet we're denying him a normal Premier League wage. It really winds me up. And the fact is that David Sullivan has effectively suggested that we need to tighten up on wages. Isn't this the same bloke that brought in Danny Ings and gave him flipping 500 grand a week? Or something stupid he's on. You know what I mean? It's not that much, of course, but it's over 100. What's that about? Do you know what I mean? It really winds me up. So you're gonna pay a guy that barely plays, who's on let's be honest, signed on a bit of a whim, an astronomical wage, and yet a lad that's been at this club since he was 8 years old, worked his way up, and he's been excellent for us this season. Comes across like such a good lad. All the players like him, and yet we're willing to let him go. Well, we're not saying we're not willing to let him go. The club still want to keep him. The club, that's been made very clear. The club still want to keep him, but it's all over money, and it's really frustrating. I don't like it. It's horrible to hear that. And the update we've got from X is saying that Crystal Palace are the sort of the most likely destination should we not be able to, at this stage, should we not be able to agree a deal with Johnson. Because I think it's Leicester are involved. I think Southampton are quite keen. I think there might be a couple of other Premier League sides are interested as well. But Crystal Palace apparently are the kind of, at the moment, seen as the more likely destination for Johnson. Because at the end of the day, he'll be a free agent. So you'll get a handsome salary or signing on fee, whatever it may be, if he moves on. And I don't think the player wants to move on. I really doubt that he wants to. But, of course, there is the other side of it, which is game time. Can West Ham offer him the game time that he craves? He might be able to get it better elsewhere. Don't know. So it's a real dampener, isn't it? This one hanging over us. I don't know where it's going to end up. I've still got a fair bit of belief that we'll be able to get something done and we'll be able to get it resolved. And I really hope we do. I don't want to see a player like Johnson, who has been so good for us this season, who seems like such a good lad, who loves the club, been for the academy, go to a London rival. Like, what's the point? Do you know what I mean? All over a few quid. I just think it's so short-sighted. It really is. And as I say, the frustration is that we're basically still in the same situation with an owner that's got it's like he's playing Football Manager. Do you know what I mean? Like, why has he got so much involvement in this sort of stuff? I don't know. It really is annoying, and I hope that we can get it resolved. I really do. It's one that I would love to see Johnson sign a new deal. And Mabama. I want to see Mabama. I want to see Mabama go on loan. I think next season he needs to go on a championship level loan. See how he gets on. He needs toughening up, I think. But again, there's no denying he's got a talent there. He's got a good player in him. So I'd like to see him being given a go. Another update was a few other contracts. I think that Aaron Creswell is likely to be departing this summer. No great surprise there. Real sad end, isn't it, for Creswell at West Ham, for considering how long he's been at the club and how well he's been with the fans, etc., etc. It seems like a really crappy way he's bowing out of the football club. I really would like to hear his side of it, actually. You know what I mean? Like, once this all is done and all wrapped up and he finishes playing, we'll obviously get him back. West Ham way will have him, I'm sure, at events and stuff, which would be fantastic. And they'll own Dave and X having the podcast. I'd like to get him on the channel if we can. I'd love to speak to him and find out what's gone on, because it really feels like a sad end for Aaron Creswell, because it doesn't look like he's got much, does it, to play at West Ham, and much of a role to play. But it is what it is. Angelo Bonner, I believe they're trying to get to sign one more a year extension, but with a reduced wage. Look, I'm not stupid. I understand that we've got financial fair play. All right, I understand that we can't just be throwing silly wages around. But I'll tell you what, and I understand that, like I say, there with Bonner saying we're going to pull that wage down. That kind of makes sense. He's got that age now, saying, look, if you want to stay on, you can do another year. Let's be honest, I'm sure it's still a nice, handsome pay packet. But with Ben Johnson, I just don't get it. I'd like to know your thoughts. Let me know what you think about it. I mean, maybe am I being too? Am I sort of claret and blue tinted glasses with Johnson? I don't think so. Personally, I think he's a good player, and I think he's been proven to be very useful to have. And not only that, a player that I had him in the starting 11 for my prediction for the Brentford game. I mean, obviously he went with Soufal. To be fair to Soufal, he had a good game. A lot of players did, but I had Johnson down to start. I mean, if I'd have been the manager, he would have started for me. So that's how I see Johnson. I think he's a good player. I think he's redeemed himself this season. He's proven to be really worthwhile keeping. And the fact that we've got an owner that's reluctant over a few quid, it's very annoying. And it just feels like, a reminder, innit, of who's in charge. And, every time we sort of feel like we're sort of stepping forward, we've got Tim Steidson involved now, we've got this, we've got that. We've always still got David Sullivan sort of lurking about, and unfortunately, and he has a big say, really. He still does, and it's annoying. But look, that's not to say it won't be done. That's not to say it's completely off the table and nothing's going to happen. But let's be honest, time is seriously ticking, and as the days go on, it's more and more likely that Ben Johnson's not going to be here next season.